Hey guys, Jerry Berg, the Poor Historian, and I'm bringing you a long overdue review on this, my original Gambeson, the SPES Officer's Gambeson. I can't really do my normal part 1, part 2 because I've been using this for over a year now. And I gotta tell you, it is a phenomenal jacket that I absolutely love using for Saber, but it does have some flaws. And I recently replaced it with another Gambeson. I don't want to say replace it, but I supplemented it with another Gambeson, but I wanted to go over reasons why I purchased this, reasons why I want to get a new one, and to clarify the best points about this Gambeson. Originally, I purchased this Gambeson because it's sexy. I mean, look at this. The side button up here looks like it's something straight out of the 19th century, and it has double padding here, and it's gotten essentially very good reviews online. And this is a great review video too, because I absolutely love this video. I just wanted to point out reasons why I wanted to replace it for me specifically. This Gambeson overall is a fantastic Gambeson. Firstly, I wanted to point out some of the protective aspects of it. It does have these snap buttons up the side here, and on the inside of it, there is a zipper that goes all the way down too. So it's got double protection that way. It does have a blade catch built in right here, so if a blade hits you in the chest and it slides up, it'll catch. And it does have some Velcro up here to hold the neck up as well. And a lot of people, and the reason that I purchased this originally was because I was getting into Saber at the time. It looked gorgeous for Saber, and there was kind of a debate about whether or not it was appropriate for longsword also. This has less padding in it than some of the standard HEMA longsword Gambesons out there. But I kind of went on a whim and I did it. And, you know, I've taken hits here and here and here and here. And it hurts. You know, don't get me wrong. It still hurts just like it would getting hit with a longsword with any Gambeson. I did not find it significantly weak to dissuade me from using it. I've been using this for longsword up until today when I got my new Gambeson. So I don't think that there's a problem with it. But there are some weird things about it I wanted to point out. One, SPES has these kind of elbow things that are built onto it. And they're supposedly for attaching elbow protection, maybe specifically from SPES to do that. But when I've attached things to it, they kind of sit up here on my forearm where my elbow is down here. So unless your arms are perfectly length for this Gambeson, and where your elbows are a little bit higher up than mine, it's not actually going to protect too much. I just kind of throw elbow pads over top of the coat, or I wear some of those non-Newtonian foam things underneath it. The other thing that I wanted to point out that's kind of weird is this button up here. This last snap, not this one, but this one here, it's in such an awkward place that I've never been able to actually snap it up there. And I know a few people in my group have this coat as well, and they don't snap that one either. It's there, and it's kind of annoying that it's there. It doesn't actually, if you snap it, it just is awkward with the Velcro that's up there, and it doesn't sit right. The last thing, and this is the big reason why I replaced it, is because I'm a tall guy. This jacket is absolutely perfect for people who are not over 6 feet tall. But for me, this caused some problems, especially in the last tournament, the last Arnold Fencing Classic tournament during the longsword tournament. I was wearing this Gambeson, and I went up to a high guard, and as you can see, as I raise my arms up, my stomach is exposed right here. So I was up here, more or less. I think I've got it on video, and I'll post it here. But by going up here, I've exposed my stomach, and at 2 points, I think it was the same fighter actually, hit me right here under my Gambeson with a full-powered longsword swing.
Hold time, hold! Come in! Judges! Yeah, 2 points blue. Sorry. Fence!
Judging.
Hold! Judges! Blue, are you okay? Okay, that's 2 points right there. Ready?
Ow, that hurt a ton. So this Gambeson is great, especially for Saber, if you're not doing any of the two ends up techniques. Because it kind of stays put, and this is exactly what you're using it for. But for using it for longsword, because it's a little tighter on the shoulders, it doesn't have that poofiness like a lot of the other HEMA Gambesons do. When you raise your arms up, the Gambeson goes up with you. That's the big problem. That's why I replaced it, because I'm using it for a reason that it was not intended to be used for. So that's why. That's the big reason why I'm replacing it. But other than that, this is my saber Gambeson. This is my one-handed Gambeson. This is the one that I'll be using if I'm fighting with anything other than longsword or maybe some other experimental going against someone who's a little bit heavier of a fighter, because this does have less padding in it than the new one. So, but other than that, it's a great Gambeson. It really is. I've had the sleeves fit under my gloves. I've got the sparring glove 5 fingers that have the long cuff. I also have the one-handed rapier and single stick gloves from Purple Heart that go over there go over the sleeves and the cuffs fairly well. So I like this Gambeson. I think I look gorgeous wearing it, but everything else has to either be black or white, because if you match green with like blue or red, you look awkward. So keep that in mind before you purchase a fancy color. The reason I got green, 1, was because that was the one that Purple Heart had in stock, but 2, because the Richard Sharp book series and also the TV show, which I haven't seen, but the book series at least, love it. And he wore a green coat similar to this one, so I kind of channeled his fictional energy when I purchased this, and I thought it looked gorgeous. So that was my thoughts on this Gambeson. It's a little bit cheaper than most of the other ones, about $195 more or less, but not really significantly less expensive to make it worth purchasing this one for saving money. I think you should get this one if you really want to look good, and if you really want to identify yourself as a saber or small swordsman or one of the other 19th century sparring manuals or weapon types. Rather than an earlier, this one looks a little out of place using longsword or dussack or sword and buckler using it. Even though it is perfectly protective, it just looks out of place because it's based on a 19th century design. So, I love this jacket. I encourage you guys to get it if you fit those requirements, but if you're doing longsword, try getting something that might be a little longer or might be a little extra padded, especially in the shoulders. So, until then, see you next time.